Exodus chapter 14 from verse 10. When the Israelites saw the king and his army coming after them, they were very frightened and cried to the Lord for help. They said to Moses, "What have you done to us? Why did you bring us out of Egypt to die in the desert? There was plenty of graves for us in Egypt. We told you in Egypt, let us alone, we will stay and serve the Egyptians. Now we will die in the desert." But Moses answered, "Do not be afraid. Stand still and you will see the Lord save you today. You will never see these Egyptians again after today. You only need to remain calm and the Lord will fight for you." You know, the mist of the pandemic is still clearing and things are slowly getting back to normalcy all over the world. The truth is, our world has been changed for good. Our world has been changed in a way that we can never ever see before. And this is almost the same thing that's happening with the Israelites. A big shift is happening. They've been slaves for 400 years. They've been slaves for more than they can remember, like grandfather of grandfather. And for them, they are so used to a certain oppression that now as life is clearing, they're still struggling to see how the new life is going to come. Like there's a new normal now. Pharaoh begins to pursue them. And as Pharaoh is pursuing them, they're struggling. Why did we leave a very good land where we had food? In fact, even in the passage you just read, they're complaining that they had graves, like they had graves in Egypt. And Moses is bringing them here to the desert to die. Why? Because Pharaoh is coming to attack them. But I love what Moses says. Moses says in verse 11, they say to Moses, what have you done to us? Why did you bring us out of Egypt to die in the desert? There was plenty of graves for us in Egypt. We told you in Egypt, let us alone. We will stay and serve the Egyptians. Now we will die in the desert. But Moses responds and says, "Do not be afraid. Stand still and you will see the Lord save you today. You will never see these Egyptians again after today. You only need to remain calm. The Lord will fight for you." You see, Moses is encouraging them to do what we've been talking about, and we are continuing to talk about this week, to stand. Well, it's very hard to stand in the face of chaos. In some way, COVID brought us to a standstill. We were not having flights happening. People were not going to work. People were working remotely. Some people lost their jobs. We lost families. We lost good people. We lost our economies were shaken because we didn't have a workforce that was as active. And in all these things, it's hard just to stand still. Anxiety wrecks our hearts. Depression came in at alarming rates. Addictions came in at alarming rates. But Moses is encouraging, stand still and know that He's God. My devotion today, we're going to be talking about stand still. Jesus is the warrior. Why? Why is he saying that? He says the battle is the Lord's. He says, do not be afraid. Stand still and you will see the Lord save you today. Stand still and you will see the Lord save you today. You know what's interesting is He takes the shift off the struggle that they're going to, and He puts the shift on Jesus. But it's very easy for us to miss that God is actually the focus to which the stance has been taken. Stand still and see God deliver you. Stand still and see, in our minds and in our hearts, we have reasons why we need to do it. Like, if I don't do it myself, who will do it for me? Because I can't see Jesus, or maybe He's not answered me once or twice. Oh, I'm struggling. I'm really battling with this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. But if we can stand still and let Jesus. The Bible says the battle is the Lord's. He's more qualified to fight than we are. He's more qualified to fight than we are. In fact, if anything, the Israelites were outnumbered in terms of the equipment, the war gear that they had. They were overpowered. What are some things in our lives where we feel overpowered? Like things are just too much. We can't even explain. It's too much. But you see, the interesting thing is, if we let it to God, if we allow God, the mighty man of war, if we allow God to fight our battles, our response is we need to stand still. if your focus can be fixed on Jesus, what's that financial mountain that you need to conquer? What's that stubborn son or daughter? What's that issue that has been wrecking your family for years and years? What's that thing that has been holding you down? What's that trap? What's that snare that has been coming against your family? God is saying, hey, remember, I am the one who fights your battles. I am the one who stands strong for you. I'm the one who wants to. You see, the interesting thing is our God is big enough to, and He's loving enough to want to. He wants to fight our battles. Our battles, like stand still and know that He's God. Why? Because if we can peg it on God, the Bible says even when we are faithless, He remains to be faithful. He cannot deny Himself. He's a loving God. He's a loving Father. He's more than able to do exceedingly abundantly above what we could ask, think, or even imagine. Why? Because His character has been proven over and over and over again. I love this statement that says God is very unpredictable, but at the same time very reliable. He's an amazing God. He's a loving Father. He's loving, so loving that He would send His Son on earth to die for us, for the redemption of our sin, so that we can have a relationship with Him, so that He can step into our situation and win our battles. Why? So that when all the glory goes to Him, all the honor goes back to Him. It's for our joy. It's our joy. The Bible says when we lift Him up, He draws men unto Himself. He wants to win our battles for us because our battles are too big. Some of them are too big. Some of us have been fighting generational curses. Some of us are striving and struggling to get the blessings from our generations. Why? Because the battles that have been set before us are too fierce. Some of us have struggled with addictions and depression and anxiety, and it's hard for us to get ourselves free. But Jesus can set you free. Why? Because He's the mighty man. Maybe you're there in your workplace and your colleagues are constantly coming against you. Maybe someone has testified falsely about you. Or maybe there is a financial issue and you're having a lot of bills to pay, the school fees to pay. You're having a lot of fuel money. You're going to pay for the rent. You're going to pay for all this, and it feels like life is a quagmire. And Jesus is like, yes, I know it's a quagmire. Allow me to step in. Allow Him to step in. It's about allowing Him, not allowing us. Because if it was up to us, then I don't think we would sustain it. The act of our will, our will is not strong enough to sustain it. But Jesus says, allow me. My challenge today is, even as we take a stand, let's look to Jesus. Let's look to Jesus and allow Him to fight our battles. Our posture is to stand. Because why? He's the warrior. Yesterday we talked about having Him being your foundation. Today we're talking about having Him step in and fight for you. What are places where you feel like you have taken for granted Jesus, or maybe you felt like you can do better and you ended up taking it from Him and giving up maybe and just saying, I'll sort this out myself? How about giving that back to Him today? How about giving that part of our lives back to Him and allowing Him to fight our battles for us? You see, Jesus delights in winning our wars. He delights in it. He delights in winning for us. My challenge today is allow Him to step into your station and allow Him to fight for you. I know it's not easy, but one thing I do know is that if you allow Him to step in, He will fight your battles for you. The answers might not be what you expect, but they're definitely something you need.